been?
Where did you dig up that old fossil?
Going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
That's no moon.
We're all fine here now, thank you. How are you?
Welcome to the Star Wars Nerds Podcast. I'm Dan Vadebonker.
And I'm Kenton Larson.
And Kenton, before we get to the Star Wars news this week, of which there are a lot of things happening, we got some very sad news this morning in that Gene Hackman passed away. Hollywood legend Gene Hackman passed away in his house. Very sad.
One of the great actors. The circumstances are weird. We were talking about it before the podcast. So at this point, could be a couple things, I suppose. But I know that he's, I think among actors, he's considered one of the world's greatest actors to have ever lived. He's been in some of my favorite films. He's been in The Conversation, Hoosiers, one of my all-time favorites.
You like Hoosiers?
Okay. I love it. I
like
just
the scene where he measures the basketball net.
Yes.
Yes, same size as the back home.
I just think that's a performance that elevates what would otherwise just be a standard college team.
Yes.
Competitions kind
movie,
of.
Yes.
Yeah. So there, and the Royal Tenenbaums, and like all the way. And I remember that the whole cast got together except for him, and they were all laughing because he was apparently really hard to work with.
Oh no!
On that one, and he was like, he'd show up and like, okay, let's do this in one take. Like, I got other stuff. I've got some other things I got to do. So I remember seeing this interview where the whole cast was laughing, like basically like the word on the street was Gene doesn't want to be here. He's doing the best he can. Oh, but of course, the ultimate product is fantastic, and he is great in it.
Yeah,
So
I'm not a huge Wes Anderson fan, so I didn't really. I mean, it was fine when I watched it when it came out, but for me, like I love The French Connection. I think that's an incredible movie.
It's French Connection, of course, yeah.
And he was in the sequel, The French Connection 2, which takes a very weird turn and is very different from the first film.
Yeah,
but it's still very good. Still a good movie though. But for me, my favorite Gene Hackman performance has to be Crimson Tide. I absolutely love Crimson Tide. It's him and Denzel Washington. It's a Cold War movie. It's a submarine movie. He is like gonna not launch those nukes. He has his orders, and Denzel's got to stop him from launching the nukes. And I love it. I just love that movie so much.
I have to, and I think one of my favorite Gene Hackman scenes is Mississippi Burning, where he grabs the racist guy's balls.
Is it Willem Dafoe is the racist guy? I don't remember who played the.
No. Oh. It's like a character actor, and he's literally got him by the balls, and it's such a good scene where it's like, okay, like I'm gonna start squeezing. It's like one of those or whatever.
Right.
But you're like, he could be menacing, he could be hilarious, like he was good in every role. I can't think. Can you think of a role that he wasn't good in? I don't know.
How many of the Superman movies was he in?
Superman 1 and 2. And did
4?
he show up? Did he ever show up again? He may have.
Was he in 4?
Oh, yeah. He was in another one. And I remember because in that one, I think in all of them, he refused to shave his head. So they always had to use a bald cap. Or why does Lex Luthor have a head full of hair? And they explained it with it's a hairpiece.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't. The actor wouldn't shave his head for the role.
And apparently Richard Donner had to trick him into shaving his mustache off for the first one because he didn't want to shave his mustache off in the late 70s when shooting the original Superman. And Richard Donner said, well, I'll do it if you do it. And so then they went in the next day and Richard Donner had not shaved his mustache off and Gene Hackman had. So that's how he got him to lose it for the first movie. Anyway, rest in peace, Gene Hackman. You will be missed for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Star Wars news. What do we want to do first? The Andor trailer?
Let's do it.
All right. So I have not watched this.
Yeah. You've never seen it. I've seen it lots of times. It's one of my favorite trailers.
Is it really?
Yeah, I
love
it.
Well, I'll watch it here and let's talk about it afterwards. It's only a minute 35, very short.
We're in a war. You want to fight? Or you want to win? Last night I had a dream that the world had turned around. All our hopes had come to be. The revolution starts. now.
What a swell party this is.
Remember this moment. You're here, you're right here, and you're ready to fight.
Very suave looking Andor. Well, I have to say that I did not like that.
Oh, I love it.
No, I don't like it.
What?
Well, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I like that they're coming out with the season 2. I like Andor.
Yeah.
I love the show. I'm excited to see some of those characters in there, but I don't like the presentation. I don't like all these reviews and all this text on the screen convincing us that this is a good show. It's like, oh, you all missed this, by the way. This is a great show that nobody watched, so please watch it because everybody says it's good. Like, I hate that. I hated the reviews.
It's a prestige drama. That's what it is. That's what Andor is. And so,
but you don't need to put the freaking ratings of the reviews on there. That's dumb.
I think that's for the folks who didn't watch the first season.
Yeah, so they don't deserve
that
it.
simple.
They don't deserve to watch the second season. Screw them.
Well, but when you look at the expense of the show, and I think the expense shows itself in every one of those shots.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah,
you know, real locations and explosions, and it looks fantastic. So you know they pumped hundreds of millions of dollars into this thing. It's got more episodes than any other Star Wars show. Just I think in the first, was it 12 in the first season?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got lots of episodes. I think and they want people to check this out. The first one's nominated for Emmys and stuff. Like it was a big deal.
Guess what?
Yeah.
You didn't have to tell. Like everybody should have watched this when it first came out. Like this is the problem.
But I'm going to say this, though, very quickly, and that is a friend of mine who's a huge Star Wars fan has not watched Andor. And his brother, who is not a Star Wars fan, told him, that's the best, you got to watch that. That's the best one. And he just can't force himself to do it because he thinks it's going to be crappy because he saw Rogue One and thinks, I don't need to see a prequel to that. And it's like, no, you're missing the point. And I think maybe that's what this trailer is. You're missing the point.
I don't appreciate it. It's not aimed at me. I don't appreciate it. I'm somebody who was in there at the beginning. They could do this for the second trailer, but for the teaser, they should just I gotta say, I loved like the last 45 seconds of it because it was what it should have been, just a bunch of scenes cut together in a fun way without those titles. I gotta say, I hated the song. I don't like the use of popular music in Star Wars trailers. I really don't. I didn't like it the last time.
Don't mind it in a teaser. That was Steve Earle, The Revolution Starts Now. It came out around the same time as American Idiot because I remember I burned myself a CD, which is what you did then. Was it
LimeWire?
The year was 1991. So I got out the old CD burner and I remember I segued American Idiot into The Revolution Starts Now, and both about George Bush, by the way. Okay, like they might as well be about Trump at this point, but it was George W. Bush. And I just was like, oh, I just played that to death, that CD that I burned. I just loved it. So when I saw it here, I didn't mind it. Like we heard a version of Peter Schilling's Major Tom coming home. That was them testing the water for Skeleton Crew. And I thought I liked it for this one. And I think here's why I like it. And here's why I think it differentiates this show. Punk rock energy. That's what this is. And explosions. And we're sticking it to them. And and things are happening. And there's military, and there's soldiers, and there's and Andor's at the forefront of it. Mon Mothma appears to be at the wedding, her daughter's wedding, I think, is what that is. And there's that, and she turns and looks into the camera, and I was like, this is when she leaves Coruscant. I think my guess is she has to go during the wedding. There's too much going on.
Yeah. She's got to slip away, right? When nobody's noticing. Yeah.
So I was excited by this video, by the energy of it, which I wasn't expecting at all. It's great to see Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
He's so good. He goes, "This should be a swell party." Swell. I love it. Swell. He would say swell. Character. And K2SO. We're gonna see some of the other Rogue One characters, I imagine. I just think I just like how this comes together. Cyril and his mother are back.
See that? Like when I see those characters, I'm like, oh yay, I love and I just watched Andor a couple months ago. I'm it's pretty fresh still. I've seen it like I think 3 or 4 times now. It really is. I do think it is the best Star Wars series they've come out with. And yeah, I was very happy to see Cyril's mom. She's like my favorite. And then Cyril, and also of course the blonde lady, I don't remember her name, but the one who's in charge, like Cyril kind of has a crush on her, right? So we'll find out what's going on with that. Yeah, it's fun. It'll be good. And of course, Stellan Skarsgård, like all the awesome characters.
I fear that Stellan Skarsgård's character, Luthen, right? Was that his name?
Yeah, Luthen.
That character is not long for this world. I have a bad feeling that this will be the end of his story arc, which is too bad because I love that character. I love that character so much that when I saw Walmart has only one figure hanging on, the Walmart I go to has one figure hanging there. It's Luthen. And the figure is like $42 or something. Like, give me a break. But I like that character so much, I looked at it and considered buying it for $42. That's how much I like that character. I didn't buy it. There's no way I'm spending. If Mark Hamill himself autographed it, then I'd consider buying a figure for $42.
Why would Mark Hamill autograph a Luthen figure?
No, I mean his own figure.
It's good.
That's what it would take for me to pay $42.
I see. Yeah.
So it's just, but so I just like the story that Andor is telling, and and apparently there's going to be time jumps. There's somebody missing in this trailer. Do you know who it is?
Somebody missing from the first season of Andor?
Yeah, who we all want to see.
The little robot. No?
Oh, I never thought of that. Sure.
No. B2S, or whatever his name is.
Right.
What? No, who are you thinking of?
Andy Serkis.
Oh,
I can't swim.
I kind of figured we weren't going to see him.
I can't swim. Okay, but we didn't see him drown.
You think he's going to come back? Really? You think we'll see Andy Serkis again?
It has to. It has to happen. He is going to be in I guarantee you. The question is it a little role? Is it a big role? Is it just we see that he made it? Like what are we going to see?
I'm surprised. If he's in there, I'm surprised they wouldn't put that in the trailer because I think he was a fan favorite. I think people really like that character, and I don't know. It'd be a pleasant surprise to see him. I don't think we will, but I would like to see him.
I think those prison scenes are some of the best Star Wars ever made. Just compelling and interesting, and so many questions, like the breakouts, just all of that stuff. All the Imperials hiding behind the door because they're afraid. Like all that stuff, I could watch that stuff over and over and over. And I think Andy Serkis's role is particularly the acting there. I think that's some of the best work Andy Serkis has ever done. I just love that whole thing. And I think the I can't swim, it was such an emotional moment. But to see him again would be so impactful and so big. And even if it's for 1 second.
Yeah.
I think we'd be pretty pumped.
Like he runs into him somewhere.
Has to.
And then we have to find out how he got off the island or whatever, off the thing, right? Like he has to figure something out.
We did establish that there were ships that landed on the top of it.
Yeah.
So it's like not out of the realm of possibilities. I mean, the other thing is, okay, so you can't swim. That doesn't mean like if you find a raft and you jump, then it seemed like you could survive. Everybody was surviving who jumped out.
Yep.
So, there's things that might work to get you out of there. I wouldn't. And the fact that they didn't show him die is enough. He's alive.
And so this is going to take place again. So we're still before Rogue One, obviously. And so do we know like where in the timeline this takes place or where it's going to bring us to, or we have to wait and see?
Apparently it brings us right up to the beginning of Rogue One.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is going to be the end of it. There's not going to be another season after this.
No, this is it.
Okay.
It's the end. But if this is huge and everybody loves it, like this actually could have been like they could have actually made three Rogue One movies because Andor is so good. They could have gone one, two, three, and it probably would have improved. Like people love Rogue One. I'm
Yeah.
I you know I don't love it. I love parts of it. I love the Vader scene. I hate the Princess Leia Hope thing. I hate it, and like I hate it so much that it almost tarnishes the whole film
Oh wow.
for me. But I'm not sure that like once again we got X-wings, blowing up the thing, and it was kind of like okay, like we'd sort of seen that something like that before. I like the setting, like there was lots that was good in it for sure, but it just to me it wasn't the masterpiece that other people think of it as. So I think if they would have gone one, two, three, it would have been a better film.
For sure. Yeah. And well, yeah, I can't see them figuring out, like, if they're writing it right up to the end of Rogue One, we know how Rogue One ends, then where else could they possibly take this story?
Yeah.
I just don't, I hope that's it. I hope that they don't, like, make something else if this is popular. I think they just stick to their plan. And this will segue into our next topic, which is Kathleen Kennedy, who is apparently going to be stepping down at the end of this year as, what's her title? Like, head honcho?
Mhm.
Grand
Well, she's in
Poobah?
charge of Lucasfilm.
She's the emperor of
Yeah,
Lucasfilm.
she is.
And she's been in charge since 2012. Since Disney bought Lucasfilm, she has been the head of it, and she was kind of placed there by George Lucas, right? Wasn't it like his choice or something like that to succeed him as the CEO, president
I
and
don't
CEO?
know. I don't know that it was his choice, but that was maybe part of the discussion.
I'm
But
sure they checked with him, right?
well, I don't know. Like it seemed like they bought it from him, and then it was like, "Don't let the door hit you on the ass," as we like to say around here.
Right. And yeah,
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
they did like they didn't take any of his treatments for like the next trilogy. They just did their own thing.
Right.
That's right, which did not turn out very well. But yeah, so the story here is it is official. Now, I did see some article, it might have been clickbait, saying that she wasn't really gonna retire, but I suspect that was just somebody saying, "Oh, we haven't heard anything officially yet at like the company level," which makes
Right.
sense. They're gonna announce it to everybody first, and then there'll probably be some kind of a going away party for her at the end of the year,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. There may be.
Maybe at the
Hey,
holiday party.
I just thought of something. I just thought of a way we could combine our discussion about the Andor trailer with Kathleen Kennedy. You know who's going to replace her? Are you ready?
Ooh,
Claymation Tarkin. Because he was missing from the trailer. That's the only
oh, is
the
that where you're
only
gonna go?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no, I don't think we're
No,
gonna
no,
see.
because that's the only way. That's the only possible person who could replace Kathleen Kennedy is
Oh my God.
Claymation Tarkin. He's gonna come walking in. He's gonna he's gonna come walking in, kind of herky jerky, and he'll have some plans. He'll have some new ideas.
No. I don't know. This is I guess people are excited about this. I don't know. I don't think it's a bit of a nothing story to me in that like
Yeah.
it's just going to be another big corporate person at the head of a company. It's not going to, I don't think, change a lot. But I think people are excited for the wrong reasons, meaning that they're hoping it's going to be a man and not a woman in charge. I think that's part of the
Oh,
I think a lot of people blame her for what's gone wrong with Star Wars, and they think because she's a woman that's a problem. It's absolutely not. Like she has like I think she was a great choice to start this first era of Star Wars. Like her experience was incredible. She made like Raiders of the Lost Ark. She worked with Steven Spielberg through the 80s and 90s. She had so much actual filmmaking experience that she was the perfect person to head this up. The problem was all her experience is based in like an old Hollywood that doesn't really exist anymore. Like I'm sure Disney bought this thinking they were going to make movies every year, Star Wars movies
yeah.
every year. They probably did not anticipate having to make series and make multiple seasons of series as they have been for the last few years. Like everything's changed so much in this world that I think they do need somebody new to kind of come in here and understand all of it, right?
Well, the Hollywood Reporter says that the shoe-in, or not the shoe-in, but that people working at Disney believe it will be Dave Filoni,
Oh,
and
okay.
that would not be surprising. And then you'd go, well, what about Jon Favreau? But apparently, I think the Hollywood Reporter says he's more interested in making films than he is in the business side
Hmm.
of that. But who knows? I mean, though I think those two would be toward the top probably of the list. But once again, it's true. Running a business isn't the same thing as being a filmmaker. They have things in common. And Dave Filoni, we know that he still talks to George Lucas. That he kind of has the inside track on continuing the storyline. He idolizes George Lucas. But he believes in everything that George Lucas um, created, and that and respects what George Lucas thinks. And so it would be like sort of a bridge in a way.
He's been there the longest, I think, hey, out
Yeah.
of all those people, except for maybe Pablo. Pablo's been there longer than
Do you
Dave
think
Filoni.
Pablo's interested?
I think he would. I think. Oh, no, I don't think he is actually interested in that
No.
job, but he has been there quite a long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um,
Years.
and yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about fan like reaction, people would probably accept Dave Filoni as a replacement just because he has been there the longest. He's been involved. He has done so many different projects with Star Wars. Like really, Star Wars has been his life for the last 20 years, I guess. So that makes sense. Favreau, I think, just likes doing The Mandalorian. I think that's fine. I don't think he needs to kind of get more involved. But they need someone who's able to kind of recognize where it can go, right? And kind of and someone who's not going to approve Acolyte, but will approve Andor, right? That's the kind of he needs to be able to tell the difference. And I don't think Kathleen Kennedy, I think towards the end there, that's why Acolyte got greenlit, because they couldn't tell the difference. And we need somebody who can tell the difference between good and bad.
Yeah, yesterday I saw a YouTube. There's a YouTuber named Skyman Universe who reacts to stuff. He's Australian, I believe, and he's funny. He makes me laugh. He hated the Acolyte. He hated it so much, and he's been absent, AWOL, from responding to Star Wars. And then yesterday he showed up again to talk about the Andor trailer, and he will not even say the words "the Acolyte" in his. He's like something. Like that show that came along made me so horrified and mad that I just decided I just needed to sit it out. It made it, and I felt the same way, I have to say. It sort of made me laugh to hear somebody else say it. But I think Skeleton Crew was the first kind of oh, okay, this is pretty good. And so thank God that was pretty good. Then we've got Andor coming. That's going to be great. Then Mandalorian and Grogu has every indication of being a big popular Star Wars movie again, which is good. Things seem to be depending on when Kathy Kennedy leaves, it's hard to say, but things seem to be on the upswing, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, and there's nothing to say that whoever this news person is, it's gonna they're gonna start things will probably go up and then take another dive. It's gonna be up and down the entire time. Star Wars has always been like that, and you can never maintain. This is the problem with Marvel too right now, is they cannot maintain. They have to reset. They have to do something. I heard that new Captain America movie is awful. I was gonna go see it. I was absolutely gonna go see it in the theater, and then I just heard it was awful. And now I don't want to see it, so I'm not. And that's what happens when you give us too much of this. So that's we don't want to do that with Star Wars.
I've seen reviews that say that Captain America is basically a pointless film. That it just exists. Sometimes when you're as a teacher, sometimes you have stuff you want to teach people, but you run out of class time. So every once in a while you have a class which is kind of an odds and ends, you're like, okay, we didn't get to this, so let's do that now. Okay, we didn't get to this, so let's do that now, to sort of summarize everything. And that's what it sounds like this Captain America is, things that happened in the Eternals that they never went back to. They're like, okay, let's put that in here. Oh yeah, we left that hanging in that Ant-Man movie. Let's put that in here. Okay, well, the Hulk, whatever. The Hulk isn't available. We'll make him a red Hulk this time, different Hulk, but with we need something to destroy things. And so it's just like a basic, let's take all the loose ends and try to make sense of them. And I have no energy for that.
No, and I don't like that they've recast that General Ross character 3 times now.
Oh, I hate that too.
They've had some good actors play General Ross, but any of those actors who played him in the past could have come back and done this instead of Harrison Ford. I think they're who played him in the last one? What's his name? Oh, William Hurt, yeah. He's good. Why couldn't he be the Red Hulk? Why does it have to be Harrison Ford?
Because he's dead.
Oh, is he? Shit.
Yeah, he died.
Damn it. All right. Anyway, never mind. All right.
Yeah, he died in real life. Believe it or not. Because William Hurt seemed like a young guy, right?
Well, I mean, that didn't stop them from bringing Princess Leia back to life, or or Governor or Grand Moff Tarkin.
You can bring back anyone to life with CGI, but don't make them say hope. That
That's
is,
right.
that's the key takeaway of this conversation today.
So what do we know? Is there anything else happening with this Kathy Kennedy thing, or is that it for now? We're just gonna
That's it
like
for now. And
speculate.
even the Hollywood Reporters, couches it in is expected to retire. Like
All right, so they're
it's
not
like
gonna. Okay,
this and Star Wars Celebration is coming up, and it makes perfect sense to have loads of announcements. That's where I think that's where everything shall be confirmed, including other things that are coming up.
okay.
And probably whoever her successor is will be named. They'll come out together and they'll hold their fists up in triumph.
Be united.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
just like politics.
It'll be like, yeah, I was gonna say it'll be like Tim Waltz and Kamala Harris, except this will be a winning team this time.
Let's hope so. All right. One more thing I want to talk to you before we wrap up, and that is the Revenge of the Sith is being re-released in theaters. Kenton, did you see this?
Yeah, I did.
So, but I can't remember. Did they re-release Attack of the Clones a couple years back, or was it because of the pandemic they didn't bother?
They did Phantom Menace. I don't remember.
They did Phantom Menace, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember Attack of the Clones.
Okay, I think it might have been a victim of the pandemic in that nobody was going to the theater at that time. So that, like when it was the anniversary of that one, because that would have been like 2002. So 2022 would have been tail end of the pandemic. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith. So it's the 20th anniversary. It was 25th anniversary. Yeah. What is it?
That's crazy.
20th.
That's insane.
It's why.
I just can't believe that much time has passed.
Isn't that when Pablo started working there? Was it was on Revenge of the Sith? I think that.
Well, he's in that film, so yeah. I got to think about. Oh, it would have been before that, I think.
Yeah, well, he's blogging.
Maybe Attack of the Clones, because I remember Pablo was on my bus after Phantom Menace. That's cool. My magic memory of Pablo.
Okay, so are you gonna go see it in the theater?
I might.
Yeah.
How about you? I don't know. I haven't. I saw it and I was intrigued. I like the new poster they made up for it.
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah, but I just barely can get my ass to a theater.
Yeah, me too. Although I have purchased the Cine Club again, and I'm already not doing it. So I did Cine Club. Here's how this works. So it's $9.99 a month, and you automatically get a ticket with that. So you're paying basically $10 for a movie ticket every month, and you don't have to use it that month. The good thing is that they build up. So you pay your $9.99 and it just banks it. So I could like save them all up and use them later. In addition to that, you also get 2 more $9.99 tickets. So I can take 2 friends to the movies with me. I have 3 children, so one of them I have to pay more for, but that's fine. And then you also get a discount on the snacks, 20% off at concessions, which is pretty good. I mean, that's decent. So even with all that, I can't motivate myself to go to the movies. I went to see Wolfman last month. I took the kids to see Wolfman. That was awful. It was a horrible movie. Did not like it.
Everybody says it's terrible.
And again, I was gonna go see the Captain America movie. I was like, my girlfriend likes those Marvel, like she likes Marvel movies generally, but then as soon as the reviews came out, we're like, nah, I don't know about that. And I keep looking at the app, and I just do not see anything else. We're into Oscar season now, so of course all the Oscar movies, but I don't want to go to watch 3.5 hours of The Brutalist in the theater, Kenton. I'm sorry. I do want to see The Brutalist at some point. But
seems
that's
like
just
a big ask.
too long. Even though I do think they have an intermission in that movie. I believe they do.
Yeah, it's a 15-minute intermission, and you get a countdown clock. You do. Literally, there's a countdown clock on the screen.
That's fun.
So,
anyway,
I know. Yeah, that's a hard sell. Like that's like the weather better be terrible. Like everything better be terrible that day so you can get there and sit there for 3 hours.
So I don't know what it's going to take to get me back in the theater again, Kenton. I do want to see this. I do want to go see Revenge of the Sith. It is the best of those movies, I think, really. Yeah. And I did recently watch Phantom Menace. I did a Liam Neeson week a few weeks ago and watched Phantom Menace. Liked it for the parts that I liked and hated the parts that I hated. And I really hate Attack of the Clones. I don't like that movie at all. So I would even just as soon skip that one and go right to Revenge of the Sith, which is what I'm probably going to do.
I feel the same. I think I like Attack of the Clones a little more than the Phantom Menace, but I could be talked out of that pretty easily. But Revenge of the Sith, I really liked it when I saw it in the theater. I remember thinking it was unfortunate at that point that everybody had kind of soured on Star Wars. Because it was not a hard ticket to get.
Nope.
The lineups were kind of gone at that point. And I just sort of felt like, oh, it's too bad. Like if that would have been the first movie in the prequels, I think we would have really had something if that would have started
Yeah, I think,
Pretty
and
cool.
you're right, because I remember, I sat in line for tickets for the first one. Everyone was so excited, but for the last one, I think I just walked in off the street. I saw it
Yeah.
twice in the theater, and both times I think I just walked in, bought tickets, and went to see it. And it's like I said, it's good. It's got its moments. Like I'm not a huge fan of the dramatic no at the end or whatever, but for the most part, it is a good movie. I think it's got a great kind of through line, storyline or whatever, and there's a lot of fun stuff in there. So
I accept that screaming no was a tribute to Frankenstein.
there you go. That's right.
So
That's
I
what it
think I
is.
think that's how that works the best. Is
Okay.
that it's like Frankenstein's monster. He stands up and he's like, "Oh, the agony." God, like he's just screaming in agony. So I think that was lost when it came out. I think people kind
Probably.
of and
Well,
just
I
like when Chewbacca swings in Return of the Jedi and he does the Tarzan yell.
yes.
To me, that they're the same thing. It's the same kind of thing.
It's a little odd. It's a little, yeah, exactly. It's like pays homage to
Right.
the thing that came before it. Okay, well, I'll let you know if I go see it. I don't know how long it's gonna be in theaters for. It's probably playing what they usually do with these. It's like playing at the one theater across the city, which makes it
Yeah.
even harder for me to go because they're all so far
Yeah.
apart from each other. But if it's playing near me, I'll try and go and see it. And if I do, I'll let you know about it.
Yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear about it.
Okay, that's gonna do it for the Star Wars nerds. I'm Dan Vedabunker.
I'm Kenton Larson. Don't let the Force hit you in the ass.
Going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Now I am the master.
I'm taking an awful risk, mate.